Morning, guys. We're gonna be making flour tortillas today. This is a process. So you're gonna make the mix in the morning, and then before you eat dinner or lunch, you're going to cook them. So it's important that the tortilla dough sets for a while. You're gonna start off with flour, salt, butter, and water. Pretty basic ingredients. So for the flour, you're gonna need 2 3/4 cup. So I have my big 2-cup measure right here. I'm just gonna spoon and level. Put it right here in this bowl. And my 3/4 cup. Oh, not enough. Spoon, level off. Okay, done with the flour. We're gonna need 1½ teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna put it right in there. 1½ Okay, for the fat, some people use, traditionally it's lard. I don't have lard, I just have butter on hand. So I'm going to use butter, and I need 6 tablespoons of butter. So just a little bit short of a stick. And I'm going to cut the butter into smaller pieces so that it's easier to mix in with the flour and the salt. Okay. So with a knife, you can use a butter knife too. I'm using a sharper knife, but feel free to please use a butter knife. All right, I'm gonna give this a quick mix with the salt and the flour. And then I'm gonna add in my butter. So it's gonna be into smaller pieces like this. And you can just break it up like that. Okay, so now using your clean hands, you're going to start working the butter into the flour like this. It's kind of fun. You're gonna kind of break up the butter into the flour. It's called cutting it. And it's gonna slowly turn into a clumpier mix. The flour pieces will start kind of sticking together. And you're gonna do this until it starts to really look like, the consistency is coarse meal. I'm trying to think of something that you guys would be more familiar with, but it'll look like grainier flour. And I'll show you when I get to where it needs to be. We're getting close. I'm just gonna keep working it. You can see how it's starting to look a little bit more combined. Okay. All right. So this is what it should look like. Something like this. So the pieces of butter are small. Everything's kind of clumped together. Okay, so here we're going to get our warm water. So not hot water, not cold water, warm water. 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And we're just gonna pour it in. And using our spoon, we're gonna combine it. Eventually, it's gonna be much easier to use your hands. Your hands are the best kitchen tool, I swear. So now, if you want, you can add a little bit of flour onto your hands and then kind of work the dough. Keeps getting those close camera angles in. And you can see how it's starting to really come together. And you're gonna wanna do this until it's a smooth ball. It should take about 30 seconds or so. You can even take it out here and just kind of work it on here. Make it nice and smooth. Combine all of our ingredients in there. Okay, till it's a nice smooth All right, so now that we have our ball of dough, we're going to portion it out into about 12 balls of dough, give or take. About 2 ounces each if you have a kitchen scale on hand, which is super convenient. But I'm going to just show you what I mean. So I'm going to cut a little bit here, and I'll show you. I'll put it here. This is about 2 ounces. This is the size that your dough should be. So like a ping pong ball. And you're going to do this with all of your dough. And you're going to put them on a plate. You're going to do it until you have nothing left. And then you're going to stick that into the refrigerator until you're ready to cook. And then we'll check in a little while. All right, so I took out my tortilla dough out of the refrigerator. It'll feel harder now because it's been kept cool. So the next step we're gonna do is, this is when your parents need to come and help, because we're going to be using the stovetop and it gets hot and your fingers get really close to the pan. So parents help. We're gonna use a non-stick skillet, and I'm gonna start it up to about medium. And in here I have some vegetable oil, and I'm gonna dip a paper towel into it. And I'm going to rub the whole pan with some oil. And that's just to help it stay extra nonstick and also give it a little bit of browning. Okay, and while that heats up, I'm gonna have 2 pieces of parchment paper. And on this parchment paper, I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. Okay, and on this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. Sounds kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna take our first ball of dough. I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. Kind of push it down a little bit. And I'm gonna take the side that's got the oil on it. I'm gonna put it right on top. And again, place it on a cutting board or whatever surface you need. I'm gonna get a rolling pin. And I'm going to flatten my tortilla out. And you can turn it with the paper until you're gonna get your desired shape. And they're not gonna be perfectly round because you don't have a tortilla press like they would use in a factory or a restaurant. I do pull out a tortilla press every once in a while. But it'll be kind of flat, and you can kind of trim the edges if you want. So if you want to be more uniform in your shape. So it's gonna be pretty thin, which is good because then it'll cook faster. And we're just gonna gently place it in the pan. And it's gonna cook for about a minute per side. All right, and while that cooks, I'm gonna get over here and start rolling out the rest. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna roll it. And you'll get better at rolling it out the more you do them. Like I can already see this one's gonna be way more round. You do like tighter turns with your paper. Okay. I can hear that one starting to kind of sizzle a little bit. And almost bubble. Let me see where you kind of get an eye and see underneath it. It's starting to cook. It doesn't take too long. Fresh tortillas taste so good. They don't taste like store-bought tortillas. So let's take a peek underneath it and see how it looks. I'd say a little bit more, but we're getting really close. Okay. All right, I'm gonna flip this one over. And then it'll continue to all right. So yeah, when you're cooking with the stove, make sure you have a parent nearby. I don't want anyone to get burned. And if you feel like it's cooking too slow, you can ever so slightly heat it up just a little bit. Sometimes they get all puffy. That's the idea. You want them to get puffy and bubbly. So it's starting to brown up on the edges a little bit there. That's perfect. I'm gonna flip it over again and make sure this one gets the same kind of treatment, and look, it'll start to puff up. See how it's puffing over here? All right. I think that one's pretty good. Let's see. Hey, Ryan, do you want a tortilla? Do you want a tortilla? Come over here and get one. It's kind of hot. There you go. Let it cool off before you bite into it, okay? All right, let's put the other one on now. So we'll keep this on. And it's a process. It'll take a while. It's fun. When we make tortillas at home, we kind of have like a little tortilla party where we each roll out tortillas and work with them. So yeah, you'll complete this process for all of your balls of dough and adjust the heat as you need to. All right, I hope you guys have some delicious tacos tonight. Talk to you later. Bye.